So, ironically enough, which I don't know if ironically is the word because it's misused, but coincidentally enough, today my video is going to be a little bit more mobile because I'm doing shit. And so today's video, the topic I want to go over is motivation when you have a mental illness. And not just that, but I want my channel to appeal to people that don't just have mental illness, but people who want to just have more of an understanding of what mental illness is. And also people who just want to help themselves be mentally healthy, because mental health is important whether you have a mental illness or not. So right now I'm currently unbraiding my hair because that was one of the things I did not have time to do today, was do my hair. So I was like, well, my hair's wet, maybe if I could just braid it, then it'll come out curly. And I don't think the results are too bad. But that being said, I am going to do my makeup, and where I do my makeup is in my car because I don't have a makeup mirror. So that's what I'm doing right now. The poverty is real. We just paid our rent, and so now everything is like super tight. And I had a lot of stuff to get done today, and I really need to make this like prop up somewhere. Where can I prop this up? Okay, maybe I can prop it up here. Don't fall. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna crank my air up so I'm not super duper hot while I do my makeup. So like I said, the reason I'm doing my makeup right now while I'm filming is because of time, because I have so much stuff to get done today. So and that's a big thing for people that have bipolar, for me also, so is like getting stuff done. Because when you're manic, whether you realize it or not, you make like a billion plans of things that you're gonna do that day. And just like everyone else's life, stuff comes up where you're not intending to do that day. So like for me, I have to get my tires checked today, and I didn't plan on that being in my schedule because, you know, I had so much other stuff to get done today. But then I was driving my boyfriend to work, and I realized that my tires are like super low, so I probably have a slow leak, so I got to do that today now too. Because the original plan for today was I had some work opportunities I needed to follow up on, and I really, really needed to clean my house. So the main things I wanted to get done today, because I had to get my oil changed too, was like I was supposed to get my oil changed, and which that's happening at 5:30, so I can make that happen still. And then I wanted to clean my house, which is like mop the floor, sweep the floor, clean off all the counters, scrub the stovetop, do like just generally clean our room up, do the laundry that was backed up, do the dishes that were backed up, and just make my house generally look more presentable and less like someone robbed us. So yeah, I've been trying to be like easy on my boyfriend recently, because he just recently started working like out in the hot sun, building from like the ground up at this place. So he normally works where he's in a little bit more shade and stuff, so he comes home like super tan and sweaty and exhausted. So I'm trying to like, you know, split responsibility with him while also being considerate of like I work a not as physically demanding job as he does. Anyway, I do not recommend leaving your makeup in the car, because it was so hot the other day, my mascara bent. But I'm still gonna use it because I'm too poor to go buy more mascara. So anyways, so basically today I wanted to talk about, like, I made a list because I can't look at my phone list while I'm filming, but the list was supposed to be like things to help you stay motivated, because that is like such a big issue for me is I go through these periods of time where I'm just so not motivated to like get out of bed. Normally when my depression hits, or anxiety, and I know that sounds weird because a lot of times when you're anxious, you try to do a whole bunch of things. But for me, sometimes when my anxiety hits, I just like think about all the things I procrastinated on doing and the amount of hours I have in the day and how I can't feasibly get everything done, and like I start finding reasons why I shouldn't like start doing things because I'm like, it's never gonna get done anyways. I'm gonna do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. I can just stay in bed for another 10 or 15 minutes and then not do any of that stuff and like treat myself. And sometimes you need that, so I'm not saying don't do that, but eventually you have to get up. And so that's kind of where I think I'll start, is getting out of bed. So normally that's like probably the hardest part for me, is to actually get myself out of the bed and actually participate in the world. Because it's like once I'm up, I start kind of getting some of that natural motivation, and then I go from there. But today was like a really hard day for that. So I dropped my boyfriend off around 7, and then I did spend from like 7 to 9 just in bed, just like chilling. I was like, I need that me time, you know. And then, okay, it was like 9 o'clock, so I was like, I really got to get up and get my day started, do what I got to do. So once you get out of the bed, this is like the biggest tip I can say. Either make your bed or like close that room off, close your bedroom off, and like get out into the world. This is when you need to start like getting a shower, get yourself dressed. Once you leave the bed, don't go back to the bed, because the bed is a trap. The bed is like, once you get in it, you're going to be in that bitch all day and you're not going to get anything done. And then you're going to feel really like frustrated with yourself and get defeated. And yeah, so pretend like the bed is just not an option. Don't give yourself the option of laying down. Naps are cool. I'm so cool with naps, but naps are very defeating if you haven't done anything to earn a nap, if that makes sense. Like normally you take a nap when you get home from work, or you take a nap midday after you've cleaned or after you've ran errands, or that's okay. And you got to make sure your naps aren't super long, but like naps are healthy. I'm not saying don't take naps, but like if you woke up and you watched YouTube for an hour and then you're like, I'm gonna take a nap, like, and you have shit that you got to get done that day, your nap is gonna become like the rest of your day. So for me, I can't do that because I'll mess up my sleep schedule and whatnot. So anyways, yeah, stay away from the bed once you've woken up and you're out of it. Like physically get out of your bed, and once you're out, stay out. So cross that off my list. That was one of the things I want to talk about. One of my tips. Another tip, I don't know if this helps other people, but it sure as hell helps me. Turn the lights on in your house. I understand like saving energy, you know, we actually need to work on that ourselves, but you keep the lights off while you're sleeping, keep the lights off while you're not home. But when you're in your house, if you want to stay motivated and you have stuff that you got to do around the house, or you got to get ready to go somewhere, keep your lights on, because keeping your lights off kind of puts your body in like sleep mode. It kind of makes you feel like, oh, this is really nice and dim in here. I don't want to go out into the world. It's bright out there. Like, I'm just going to stay in here and just lay down just right here and then you lose your day. So for me, that's a big motivator, is like I get up and, you know, I drink my water, I eat my breakfast or whatever, feed my dog, and then like I keep the lights on and keep myself going if I want to be productive that day. Because, you know, just something for me, it makes me feel bright. It makes me feel like, okay, like I'm awake, like, all right, I'm out of bed and I'm gonna conquer today. So I turn like all the lights on the house. Like I'll turn my bedroom light on, and I'll turn the hall light on, and I'll go turn the bathroom light on and wash my face. That's a big thing. Wake up. That's like my next point is like showering. So like showering, wash your face, do whatever you need. Get some water on your face and get yourself like up with the lights. And you're like, okay, I'm awake. You know, I don't feel like I want to go back to sleep. So keeping the lights on and just, you know, keeping yourself all lively and up and shit. So the next point is going to be obviously showering. So me, before the shower, I actually do my exercising, which I'll get to in a minute. I do not exercise that much. I'm not going to flex and be like, I wake up and I do, 10 planks and 50 squats and then 25 jumping jacks. And like, no, I don't. Now, if I'm really super motivated that day, I might. If I just feel extra gross and I really want to, exercise, then yeah, I will. But most of the time, no. I got to convince myself to do like small repetitive acts to give the illusion of exercise and just to help wake me up. Because a body in motion stays in motion. So anyway, back to the showering thing. So you're going to want to get in the shower, and then I normally play music while I'm in the shower, and then I play music throughout the rest of my day. But that's my like kickstart, is I turn the water on and I get my clothes set out, and then I like crank my music up, which I'm sure my neighbors hate my cuts, but and then like I use my Google Home, or you can use your Alexa or whatever, or if you don't have any of that, use your cell phone. Just play music from your cell phone. But the shower, I'll normally take like a hot shower, and then like at the end of the shower, when I'm done doing everything that I gotta do in the shower, I'll turn on like the cold water and get like cold water on my face. That helps like seal your pores up, and it also just makes me feel more like alive. And so then I go and get dressed or whatever. Don't fall into the trap of like sitting in a towel and like watching videos on your phone and like, oh, this is nice, I'm just gonna lay right back here, and then because then you screw yourself all over again. So take yourself a nice shower, preferably early in the morning, and that normally keeps me more motivated to do what I got to do. And it kind of starts that process to where if something does come up and I'm like, oh, I got to leave the house right now, like I'm already mostly ready. Like even if my makeup's not done or whatnot, like I have most of myself ready. I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I have to get in the shower. Like that part's done. So taking yourself a nice shower, that's another one. So that kind of leads me to my next one. Usually before I get in the shower, which I probably should have talked about this one first, but I do some kind of exercise. If that is taking a walk around my neighborhood or doing yoga, I prefer yoga because it's much more chill and it's not like, oh, let's get up and go run. So I'll do yoga for a little while. And I'm not good at yoga. I feel like a big excuse for people not wanting to do yoga is like, well, I don't know how to do like yoga poses. Like, I don't know the right way to do yoga. You got to go to a class for that. Like, no, you don't. I do not pay for yoga classes because I'm too cheap for that. I went and bought a $7 yoga mat from Walmart like 6 or 7 months ago. And it helps with stress. It helps with back pain. It helps with everything. If you don't know what yoga poses to do, there is literally Google and YouTube. That is literally how I learned to do yoga, watching other people do poses and yoga. And like literally there's not a right or wrong way for you to do it. You just pick the poses that, work for you. There are yoga poses that are so far beyond me that like I will never feasibly be able to do those poses. And that is okay, because to me, what I benefit from yoga is like the meditation aspect of it. Like some poses are just to relax. Use those poses, and then you want to use some poses for stretching because you want to feel more flexible. Your lower back's hurting, that sciatic nerve, that like lower back that you pulled at work's hurting, then do some of the stretchy ones. You want some that work your abs, do some of the abby ones. But I mean, like if you're just wanting to like wake up, feel relaxed, feel refreshed, like get in a place where you're like, I know myself, I can do this, I can conquer this day. Get yourself out of your head. That's what yoga does for me. And yoga's not for everyone. Like some people like are runners or swimmers, or most of those things involve getting out and like putting on running shoes and running, and that is like not my thing. Like, I will do cardio if I need to lose weight, but like I don't love cardio. I mean, I will go on like nature walks, and that's somewhat of cardio, but like just aggressive, like running, sweating, not being able to breathe, it's not enjoyable. And it's yes, like if you do it for a while, you will experience a euphoria sense from it to where you like to run. And like, I do recommend that. Like, that is great. But if you're not feeling that motivated, it's hard to convince yourself to like, well, you know what's going to make me motivated today? I'm going to go run. Like, no, the fuck you're not. You're not going to go run. Just do something simple, or sometimes I will just sit down and then like, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do like some push-ups or some sit-ups, and I'll only do like 10 or 15 of them, but just enough to be like, okay, did I feel it yet? Okay, I didn't feel it. I'm going to do 10 or 15 more. And I'll do just enough so I feel the little burn. And then I'm like, okay, that burn kind of made me feel more awake. And so do whatever you got to do. Run up and down your stairs a couple times. Go walk around your neighborhood. Do some sit-ups or some push-ups or some jumping jacks. But, don't overexert yourself. This is not a thing where you need to exercise like for hours or even an hour to make yourself feel more awake. Like, you can literally just do it for 10 or 15 minutes, and if you feel awake and you got shit to do, get in the shower and get going. So that's something that helps me feel more ready to start my day when I'm unmotivated. And it also helps with the depression. So that's another thing. Sometimes depression and anxiety, like, you just have so many thoughts in your head all at once, and you're just like, oh my gosh, today, what's going to happen? Like, I forgot to call so-and-so back, or I didn't get this due at the right time, or, so-and-so, is going to be disappointed in me. I let somebody down. And, yes, those are all things that you need to be accountable for. But first thing in the morning, overloading yourself with those kind of thoughts, like, really defeats you for the rest of the day. So, doing something to get you out of your head. And for me, that's something like physical. I need a physical, that's not a word, physical or tangible thing to be like, okay, I did that. Now I'm going to do something else. Because if I can cross something off a list, if I can make something real and tangible for me, then that gives me like, I know it sounds weird, but it gives me like a little sense of like accomplishment. And then I'll feel like I can accomplish more things because I have that, under my belt. So that's what exercise and yoga and meditation is for me. Find your own thing. But for me, I used to just like watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. Or, watch some TV or just do something mind numbing. And then I realized like, wow, I didn't really do anything. Like, I just did nothing. None of that was productive. Like, it made me feel not, anxious or not depressed for that few minutes or those few hours, but like, did it really make me feel, did it give me any fuel to do anything else? And normally the answer is no. So I kind of switched to doing this instead. So yeah, get yourself moving, get yourself, meditated, just get out of your head for, 15, 20 minutes, 10, 15, however long you think. But I wouldn't let it exceed like 30 minutes because then you're not getting done what you need to get done. And it's no longer a motivator or a fueler for the next activity. It's just a day-long activity. So, all right, the next thing I'm going to talk about is drinking water, which I know this is like the most tired mental health thing ever, is that people are always like, well, you would be less depressed if you just drank more water. And it's like, nobody wants to hear that shit when they're depressed. It doesn't, like, make you feel better. If drinking water could just cure depression, then we'd all be cured because we all drink water, right? But it does help. I will say it's defeating to tell someone that, when they're talking to you about their depression. But for you yourself, holding your own self accountable for your own depression, right? Drinking water does help. It helps to be hydrated because you're going to have less of those dull depression headaches. You're going to be more inspired to move and do things, and it'll regulate your metabolism, help you feel a little bit better about yourself. And just honestly, for me, physically, just cold water, like, rushing through my body is like, to me, does the same thing to my body that caffeine used to do for me before I, had trouble with being manic. Which, like I said, I still drink caffeine from time to time. But if you're trying to not, like, if you feel like you're already irritable, you already could, like, go into, like, a little bit of, like, pissed off, crazy mode, then drink some water, because that won't have that lag effect. Like, you won't crash from water. They actually say that, like, if you eat an apple and you drink, like, a glass or two of water, that if you give yourself the time, you'll have the same amount of energy that, like, an energy drink could give to you, except you won't crash a couple hours later and go to sleep, which is, like, a vicious cycle I've been fighting with energy drinks and caffeine for, like, since I was old enough to drink energy drinks and caffeine. And, like, that crash feeling just makes you feel awful. And I, for one, I have, like, kidney type issues, and if I drink a shit ton of caffeine, it's really not going to benefit me. It's going to make me sleep, like, the whole rest of the day. I'm going to feel super anxious and super jittery and super like, okay, I'm awake. And then I'm going to be like, okay, so I feel like crap now, and my stomach hurts, and I just want to sleep, like, the rest of the day. And so it doesn't really help if you have a lot of things that you got to get to get done. I don't know why I can't say that. But anyways, yeah, like, seriously, first thing that you do, if you don't immediately get in the shower and do all that stuff that I just talked about, for me, it's going downstairs, but go in, however you get there, to your kitchen, go drink you, like, a glass of water. And it's not yummy, and it doesn't taste like juice. And I know. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that if you close your eyes, it's going to magically taste like juice or coffee or beer. It's not. It's going to taste like water. It's going to taste like nothing. And if you're drinking tap water, it's going to taste like something in your water. But it's good for your body. Drink you a glass and go get in the shower. Get out of the shower 15 minutes later and tell me that you do not feel at least a little bit more motivated, because it totally helps me. Like I said, not a magic cure, but doing some of these things in combination really helped me today. Today is one of those days. So that's off my list. And then, so I discussed earlier, music. Music is a big thing for me. I keep my music going almost all day. I have my headphones in right now, and I also have, like, the personal assistants inside, so those will be playing while I do all of my activities. So, like, once I get out of the shower, I just keep my music going, but I'll normally, like, change playlists, and I'll always make sure I'm playing, like, a motivational playlist. Like, I save my, like, my sad girl vibes for, like, the car. Like, I try not to play sad music in the morning. As much as I love alternative music, and I love, like, emo 2006 type music. I absolutely adore it. It's, like, my favorite genre. But I can't really listen to that stuff in the morning. And I know that sounds weird. I can listen to it the rest of my day once I'm actually doing things. But, like, if I sit there and listen to, like, really depressing type stuff in the morning, I'll be like, I really am never getting out of this town. And I'll just, like, get back in bed and, like, just fuck the rest of my day over. So, I mean, get you, like, a power playlist. So I do this on Spotify. You can do it on Apple Music. You can do it on, you can even make a YouTube playlist, So, like, if you're, like, a not liking to spend money person like me, there's free ways to make it. I personally do spend money on Spotify, though. Like, that's one thing I can't cut corners on. Like, I can cut, the streaming services, and I can cut going out, and I can cut having drinks and having Starbucks, and I can cut all those things off my budget list. But I'm paying that $10 a month for Spotify because, like, that's happening. I'll sacrifice a new pair of work pants to pay that Spotify bill. Because, like, for me, it fuels my whole life. And if you're, like, a big music lover like me, make yourself a playlist of, like, motivational music that's just, like, you know, basically has the message of, like, fuck yeah, you're doing it. And this can be rap music or alternative music or, you know, country music if you're into that, whatever. I know that there's a song in every genre that makes you feel motivated. So I have normally like a list of like 30 songs, and I'll change them out and I'll have different playlists. I'm like a big playlist maker. But I'll make myself a playlist of like motivational stuff. And I will play that when I'm in the shower. And then when I get out of the shower, you know, I'm already starting to feel really motivated because like that, you know, the hot shower, then the cold water on my face, after the meditation, I drank the water, I am the water, you know, and like I get out and like I'm already like jamming. Like from that point, I've now washed away my sadness in the shower and I'm out and I'm fresh and I'm new and I'm getting dressed and I'm already kind of like, okay, like, you know what, that's my shit. And then I'll change to like a more medium kind of playlist, and this playlist will be like just stuff that I really, really like and really enjoy, know all the words to. And I'll play that music all the way through, you know, getting dressed or whatever. So then I get dressed, I do whatever I'm gonna do with my hair, which today was like braiding it because I was like, I'm not straightening that bitch. Then I go downstairs and like this is like the thing I had to get done today, which I mean, I'm sure for you it could be something different, but everyone's got to get their housework done, right? So I'll start doing my housework, and when I'm doing my housework, I'm listening to that playlist that's all the songs I know all the words to, and I'll either listen to them really loud in my headphones if I want to be a nice neighbor, or I'll blast it on the, you know, personal assistant, which, you know, that's normally if I can see that my neighbor's cars are not in the driveway and I'm like, I'm not pissing anybody off, I'll just go ham and just, you know, sing whatever while I'm like doing the dishes, doing my laundry, cleaning my house, and then that kind of gives me some motivation. And then I normally save, like if I'm wanting to hear my sad vibes music, I'll listen to it in the car, because then I'm already out, I'm out of the house. And that's the biggest thing for me is like when I'm not motivated is actually removing myself from the house and moving locations. Once I'm moving the locations, like I'm out. I can listen to, you know, the saddest of the sad emo music. Like I can play some Stray Light Run in the car, I could play some Dashboard Confessionals, and I'm like, you know what, this is really sad and beautiful, and I remember, you know, all of my memories that I related to this song, but I'm out the house now, and you know, you can't bring me back in. Like I'm out and I might as well just get it done, even if I feel those feelings. Like, but when I'm in the process of getting out, it's got to be happy music, man. It's got to be that good vibes. Like, I can't have the sad music while I'm doing shit that I need to get done. But yeah, play your music. Play your music all day long. Like, just all day long until you leave that house. Play your shit. Because that is such a big motivator for me. I don't come alive if my music doesn't come on. I will just stay sad. So that's also on there. And then I got my two last things. Making a list. So funny because I made a list. But make yourself a little to-do list. And this does not have to be like, I'm going to sit down and get a piece of paper and get a pen and journal out all of my long things that I'm going to do today. Because like that's exhausting. People don't do that shit. Use the power of technology. You have, you know, your phone in front of you. I'm sure you're on it, scrolling Instagram, posting on your Facebook, looking at memes, watching YouTube, you know, Netflix, whatever the fuck. You're on your phone, and most of you, I hope, if you're watching this, have a smartphone. So use your personal assistants, you know, like Samsung has Bixby, I have Siri. If you have an Alexa or Google in your house, like you got some kind of assistant. If you're too lazy to make the list, be like, hey Siri, set me a reminder to do blah, 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 blah. And so I set reminders all day long. And it's crazy how much you can use the power of technology to actually help you get things done. So like for me, I'll make a list. I'll normally either jot them down in my notes, or if I'm just too lazy to make a list of the things I got to get done, I will, be like, hey Siri, remind me to blah, 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 and I'll make the list verbally. And so that way I don't have to really do any work, she does it for me. So that's a really cool way to keep yourself accountable for what you got done. And so make some of those things, put the things at the top of your list. Those are like your must-haves. Like for me today, it was like cleaning tires. And then, go to the job opportunity type place I needed to go to. So, those are like my 3 things that I needed to get done. I am on my way to do number 2 on that list, but I really only got done number 1. But had I not kept myself motivated, I would have got 0 of those things done. So, those are my 3 biggest things. And then my other thing was like, filming this video. So yeah. So I got 2 things done. So already got 2 things done. And then that's empowering for me to get the other 2 things done. I have a little bit more confidence now to get those done, now that I've done some of the other ones. But then there was some other things that was like, go grocery shopping, paint, or, make a list for my next video, or clean out my car. And those are things that I still want to get done, like, no lie. But to me, the other things that I had to get done today were like more of a priority. So you got to make yourself like a priority list, and then the things like at the bottom of your list are like the things that like if you didn't get done, you're not going to beat yourself up over, and move to like tomorrow's list. But make yourself a list. That really helps me a lot. I used to think that was so stupid. My parents used to tell me that growing up, like, Sierra, make yourself a checklist. And I'd just be like, oh my God, I'm not going to sit here and make a list of the things I'm going to do. Like, I'm just going to go to school, and then I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to go home. Like, why am I going to make a list for that? And, like, now I'm sitting here, and I'm like, dude, I wish I had actually listened to them and, harnessed the skill of making lists, because they help. But to me, I'm very forgetful, which is why I have to make the list to begin with. So I don't make my list on paper most of the time. Literally, the only reason this list is on paper is because I could not look at the list on my phone while filming, because I'm filming with my phone. But under any other circumstances, my list is in that phone. Like, it's in here, because I need that list to be easily accessible to something I'm going to have on me all the time, because I will lose any slips of paper that tell me anything important. It doesn't matter how important it is. I haven't seen my birth certificate in like 3 years. I don't know where that bitch is. I don't know where my diploma is. I don't know where my registration is. And now it's cool because like you can show them, like if a police officer pulls you over, you can actually show them now your insurance card on your phone, which I thought was the best idea ever, because I can't tell you how many times I've got stopped and they're like, all right, can I see your proof of insurance? And I'm like, oh, you mean that thing that Progressive emailed to me 6 months ago that I was supposed to print out? I don't have it. And they're like, okay, well, you can just download the app and show it to me on your phone. And I'm like, that's a thing? Like, that's a thing? So yeah, utilize your technology to make your list if you're not a list person. I know some people, like, there's some people I work with and some friends that I have that, like, are just list makers. They love, like, they journal their thoughts, and they're writers. They write stuff down. I would like to be that person, but I lose every single thing that I could possibly write anything down on. So for me, that's not beneficial. I have to actually, like, put it in my phone or, call myself out for it on something that I see all the time, or it won't get done. And that's another thing. Use your reminders feature. If you have a smartphone, it doesn't matter what kind, you can set a reminder to yourself. Set a reminder to get things done. I set like alarms, and that's another way to hold yourself super accountable, is like, I knew that it was going to take me like an hour to an hour and a half to get my housework done. So I set an alarm on my phone that was like, stop cleaning, because then I knew I would start getting nitpicky and be like, oh, well, this side of this cabinet looks a little dusty. I'm going to like wipe it slowly with the cloth, and then like not do the big shit that I had to get done, which like cleaning your house is great. But if you've already been cleaning your house for an hour and 30 minutes and you have other stuff you got to get done that day, stop. You got to make yourself stop. So I set an alarm to like end that activity and move on to my next activity. And that is very beneficial for good mental health in your relationships. And I think this was beautiful that like me and Christian discovered this, because you know, like I talked about in my last video, me and Christian used to like argue like crazy. And I was, not gonna lie, a little fearful that when we moved in together, we would have arguments about like housework. That hasn't really been that much of an argument, because if I really need something done and I want him to do it, you know, I try to make it fun, as fun as possible. You know, it's housework, it's not fun for anybody. But what I'll do is like, okay, so if I come off an 8-hour shift and he comes off, you know, a 10-hour shift, we're both tired. We both sat in traffic all day. We're both sweaty and gross and have other stuff we want to do. And a lot of times, with my job especially, it'll be like late at night when I get home. So like no one wants to come home at like 10:30 at night and clean their freaking house. No one does. So what I'll do, so we don't stay up late because we have to get him to work so early, is I'll be like, okay, we're gonna set a timer. And I'm like, we're gonna, you know, set a timer for like 30 minutes. If you can give me 30 minutes of cleaning, like I'll get off your ass. And I'm like, I don't, because, you know, he'll be like, well, you know, you get all like OCD and nitpicky and you want to like clean everything. And like, you know, I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, okay, we don't have to, like, but I need help, you know? So like, let's set, because I want sleep too. So let's set a 30-minute timer, and, you know, either you do the dishes or I'll do the laundry, or I'll do the dishes and you do the laundry, but we're going to get 30 minutes worth of housework done now. And then, you know, I'll set it, and then when the alarm goes off, we drop what we're doing and we're like, okay, like, let's go watch a movie together, or let's go get ready for bed, or let's take showers, or let's whatever. And then like, I don't even let myself get out of my work uniform. I'll like keep myself in like work mode so I can get those things done. And then we'll like move on from that task and do something else. And so that way cleaning doesn't feel like this long, awful task. Because to be honest, if you keep your house pretty straight and it's not disgusting, like you can totally clean your house in 30 minutes. Like just give yourself 30 minutes a day to get your affairs in order while cleaning your house, and then like your house isn't going to be that messy. So when someone comes over, you don't have to freak out and be like, oh my god, I got to clean my whole house. Just pick up the little things that you didn't do, but you know, do those few dishes, fold those few towels, but you don't have to do loads of laundry or loads of dishes or sweep and mop. Like if you literally sweep your house pretty often, you don't have to mop but like once or twice a week, or like once, I didn't mean to say once or twice a week, once a week or once every 2 weeks. Like you really don't have to mop every day unless you're just like really like your house to smell like Pine Sol. But like I only mop my house like once every week or like once every 2 weeks. Like whatever day I'm off, I'll mop. But I don't mop all the time. And it's because like I'll sweep up every now and then. So it's not ever like my floor is really dirty, you know? I take good care of it. And if you take good care of your responsibilities around your house for 30 minutes a day, just set yourself that timer. If you don't have a timer, set yourself a 15. I mean, if you don't have that amount of time, set 15 minutes. Like somewhere amongst your day, amongst all of the bull crap that you do on your phone, all the text message you replies to, all the other people's lives that you look at, you have 15 minutes to 30 minutes, you know, depending on your schedule, to take care of your house and the place that you live. And that's going to help you and your partner. You can make it something that you can do together. So like, yeah, that's really benefited us a lot. And it's cut out the argument. It's cut out the, well, you do this and I do this. We do this for 30 minutes a day and then we stop. And it's like we definitively cut off at that point. And that's something I can't be like, well, we have to also do this and this and this and this and this. I can't add on to it. That's kind of like my accountability thing. My part of the bargain is like, you work nonstop for 30 minutes and I work nonstop for 30 minutes and we both stop when that timer goes off. And that's really good to keep yourself on a schedule to get things done during the day. Not just housework, but just anything, you know. And I actually learned that from another girl who talks about mental health on YouTube. I think her name is Lizzie's Answers or something like that. But she has bipolar. And when I first got diagnosed, I like just felt so out of control of my life, and I was like, how do I get my life under control? And she talks about like how she sets timers for everything. Like she takes a timer does a timer to take her medication, and does a timer to get her housework done, does a timer to exercise, does a timer to give herself you time, which I'm about to get to. But I was like, that's a great idea. And literally ever since I started doing that, my life has gotten a lot easier. Set yourself timers. Like, don't let yourself get consumed in a task, and then not get the other stuff that you have to get done. So it's really cool. So making a list and setting your timers. Make sure that you're doing that if you want to help yourself stay motivated. It does give you a sense of accomplishment, because you're like, I did this for this amount of time, and like, I'm done with that activity. Now let's move to my next activity. You know, keep yourself on that kind of like schedule. It helps schedule your life. And then last but not least, this is like probably the most important one on my list. To help stay motivated, you gotta schedule in something for you every day. Something. I don't care what it is. This is your you time. This is where you get to do dumb shit. If you want to watch a YouTube video, if you want to go read or walk or sit along with your thoughts or any of that stuff, schedule you a time for it. Don't do it while you're trying to get all your other stuff done. Don't let it interrupt another activity for you, because then it's kind of like counterproductive, because all of that relaxation you feel from the you time is immediately taken away from you when you realize that you don't have time to get something done, and it doesn't help. But once you get all your stuff done for the day, or in the middle of it, like after you've finished 2 tasks and you have 2 more tasks and you have like a 30-minute window, give yourself that 30 minutes and do something that you want to do. And like I said, this can be like YouTube or TV or whatever. I normally don't do those things because I feel like the time gets away from me too quickly. I'll do something creative, like write a song, or, you know, watch some music videos while I'm like standing up doing something. Or this is where, you know, if caffeine isn't an issue for you, you go outside and drink a cup of coffee, or like stand outside in the sun for 30 minutes, or like draw a picture, or, you know, like that girl I was talking about that I watch on YouTube, she reads her Bible. She's like religious, so like cool for her. She does that. But like for me, I'll normally either write a song, or I'll draw a picture, or I'll go walking. I love to go walking. Like that is something I really do enjoy, is like I really like getting out of my house and going in like nature. And I'll spend some of the time walking and some of the time just like ogling at nature because it's beautiful. So make sure that you fit in some time for you every day, no matter how much you got to get done. And this obviously cannot be a long period of time all the time. Like sometimes you had 10 things to get done that day. Schedule 15 minutes for you or 30 minutes for you, and make sure that's uninterrupted. That means no texting people back during that period of time. No phone calls. No, honestly, if you can't control yourself like me, remove your phone from the situation that you're at. Leave it in the car for 30 minutes. Leave it upstairs charging in your bedroom for 30 minutes. And make sure that 30 minutes is something that's not about what you got to get done. It's not about your family, not about your partner, not about your friends, not about your job, but you time to really reflect on the way your life's going, things you'd want to change, things you like about your life, things you'd like to recognize yourself for, things that you'd like to recognize the people around you for, and really use that, you know? Sometimes when things get, especially if you have a mental illness, or even if you don't and you're just stressed, having so many things going on in your life at once, especially during a period of time of one day, you forget to fit in that you time, and you're not processing your own emotions, and you don't even realize it. You know, you think you're dealing with it fine. You're hanging in there, but you don't have that time to like think. You know, you don't see if your own actions are problematic, if those around you are being problematic, if there's discussions you need to have, if there's changes you need to make, if there's things you like and you just want to, you know, enjoy that. Just give yourself some time. And this is like goes back to kind of what I was talking about with the meditation. If meditation is your you time, do the meditation. If it's yoga, if it's walking, if it's just something, and unconnect from your socials for that period of time. So, one more thing I'm going to add, and this kind of goes back to the list and the timers and stuff. They're on like YouTube. I do it on YouTube. I think you can do it on other socials too. You can do this option that's called take a break, and it warns you at the 30-minute mark, and you can set it for like 15 or an hour, however long you think is too much. But you can set a thing on your socials to remind you to take a break and get off your social media. When you get that reminder, if you have nothing else planned, go do something for yourself. It'll still be there when you get back. That YouTube video will still be there when you get back. That, person's update, those baby pictures or whatever, they'll still be there when you get back. You can take that time for yourself. People don't give themselves enough time to just think and feel. And that is something that, we discuss that with mental illness stigma that people take from us. But a lot of times on an accountability aspect, we take that time from ourselves because you can unplug. It's always an option, If it's bothering you, you can delete an app, you can delete a social, you can just take your phone and, I was going to say throw it away. Don't throw it away literally, because I'm sure your phone's like $1,000 if you've gotten a recent one. But take it and put it somewhere where you can't mess with it. And instead of, seeing what's on the world's mind, ask yourself what's on your mind. All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps up everything I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to try to make these videos shorter. But yeah, I just kind of like over talk. So, but yeah, the next one will hopefully be shorter. But that concludes what I wanted to talk about today. So you guys have a great day. Bye.